Welcome to Yadda Yadda. I'm so glad you could join us this Monday evening. This is Roxy the Doxy, and Roxy is our new puppy that we adopted at Barktoberfest this past weekend. And she is such a wonderful addition to our family. Now we have 2 dachshunds, a Jack Russell Terrorizer, and 2 cats and 2 teenagers, and yes, we are insane. So, but you know, it was a wonderful thing to do to adopt her, and I hope that if you're looking for a pet that you'll choose to adopt one too, because they're so good, and she's such a sweetie. Yes, she is. Okay, you can go see Daddy now. Go on, go on. Okay, there she goes. She's such a good pup. You know, I have to start out by saying that Michael DeMaria, who has been on for the past couple weeks and who has been performing his wonderful Native American music, he won the Native American Music Awards, NAMI, the equivalent to the Grammy, just this past weekend up in Niagara Falls, and oh, we're so happy for him. And you know, it's really has a lot to do with the fact that you, the Pensacola people, the supporters here, voted for him online, and it really did make a difference. And so, you know, we just have to remember that we can make things happen here in Pensacola, even by doing little things like going online and voting for something, and big wonderful things can happen. So congratulations, Michael DeMaria. We're so happy for you and so proud for you too. He's going to be on in a couple weeks, and he's going to tell us about what the event was like, and maybe we'll get him to perform again for us too. That was really great. If you haven't had a chance to pick up your copy of the Independent News, I always recommend that you do that because it's fun to read. Lots of things that you can find out about that you won't find out from anywhere else. So be sure and pick up your copy of the Independent News. You know, I have a wonderful bottle of wine tonight, and this is again from the Aragon Wine Market. Charlotte Gordon always picks out a wonderful bottle, and this is a Sanford Chardonnay from Santa Barbara County. And I would try, she didn't leave me a sticky note on this one, and I can't quite read it. My arms aren't long enough to read it all the way, but it's a lovely, lovely Chardonnay, and you know, I would like to toast to you because you have such a wonderful audience, and you guys are so wonderful. And it is good. It's good. So we're going to give Charlotte a thumbs up on this one. Also want to thank Lee Tracy for my fabulous outfit, and my friend Nancy Pants. She has nature refined jewelry, and she made this jewelry which is really fabulous. And if you don't have a superpower ring, you need to have a superpower ring. All women need a superpower ring, and you too can have your own if you go to Lee Tracy's. I was there this past weekend, and it was one of these meet the artist type of things. And Nancy was there along with another jewelry designer, and everyone was just going, we have got to have our superpower ring. So, you know, if you need one, you know where to get one. Also want to point out that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and, you know, if you don't have anything pink, then you need to find something pink and grab onto it. There are so many stores and so many opportunities out there to make a donation and to support breast cancer research. So many activities coming up this week. You can find anything, anywhere. You can support it in so many different ways. So I really encourage you to do that. It can mean so much to so many people. And I guess that at this point we're going to take a break, and when we come back we're going to be talking to a new sponsor that we have, Martina Mason with Dragonfly Financial, and I'm trying to get that out, Dragonfly Financial. And she's delightful. You're going to love her, and she wants to educate women how to make better decisions, better financial decisions for retirement and for their future. So stay with us, and we'll be right back, and we're also going to be talking about pumpkins. So stay with us.
Hi, this is Mark Heino of Tire Trust Incorporated, located downtown Pensacola. Tire Trust, we're a full-service tire and automotive repair facility featuring all your major brands. At Tire Trust, we also do all your scheduled maintenances, from oil changes to brake jobs, tune-ups, air conditioning, alignments, you name it. We work while you're working, therefore it's not an inconvenience. Tire Trust is located downtown 10 West Gregory, Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 6. Come see us.
Vince Woods GMC is your connection to the great outdoors. Whether you fish, hunt, or just need to get to the ballpark, we pride ourselves on offering you hundreds of choices to help you find the exact truck or SUV that fits your needs. Regular cabs, extended cabs, crew cabs, two-wheel and four-wheel drives of every trim package. We've got the right selection to get you the right price. Vince Woods GMC. Over 50 years of integrity you can trust. Vince Woods GMC Truck Center, Car City, Pensacola.
Welcome back to Yadda Yadda, and with us this evening is we have a new sponsor, and her name is Martina Mason, and she has a wonderful financial services company called Dragonfly Financial. Welcome to Yadda Yadda.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here. You're here.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, you know, financial services are so tough right now. I mean, the economy is weird. People are very concerned about their retirement situation, about what they can count on, and what they had no idea. They don't even know what they had. There are some people who still won't open their 401k retirement statements. That's me. I won't. And I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. But you know, I just have to ask you, you know, how do you know who to trust? How do you know? I mean, you're going into this business, and you know, how does someone know who to go to?
Well, you know, it's a very complicated decision, but did you know that by the year 2010, women will control 60% of the wealth in the United States?
I like that.
I like
that.
But at the same time, you know, when they choose a financial consultant, their decision-making process is so different from a man's. A man says, what's the bottom line? And a woman, she bases that decision on values and emotion. She takes a long time to weigh different options. And my husband and I have had a practice for a long time together, and I started looking around recently, and there's no one out there addressing the financial concerns for women. So out came Dragonfly. And that's our goal, is just to address financial concerns for women, to look at the different types of financial personalities that are out there in women, and clearly, in plain language, provide education so they can weigh their options and make an educated decision.
Well, you know, I think that women are many times intimidated when they're sitting in a broker's office, and this broker has been a broker for, 25 years, and, he's seen everything, and he's going to make money whether you do or not, and because that's just the way it is. And you feel intimidated. You feel like you don't have enough information to make a decision. There's so much information out there, you don't know what you should look at and what you should even try to absorb, and you don't know what to do, and you feel like you're at this person's mercy, and I mean, what do? You're intimidated. I mean,
right. Well, and women, many times they'll go to the internet first, and they'll look things up, and then they'll ask their family about it, and then they'll finally land in a broker's office that someone that they know recommended, who's helped them forever.
Right.
And they don't get the information that they need to find out what's most important to them about their money.
Yeah.
Because until you answer that question for yourself, you can't begin to make a plan.
Well, so what kind of questions do you ask? I mean, what's important?
That is the first thing that I ask someone is, Cynthia, what's the most important thing to you about your money? And usually they come up with something like, not to lose it. Well, why?
Yeah.
And to dig deep and to find out where your values lie.
Well, I know that it's difficult. So many women these days are finding themselves alone later in life, and maybe they didn't handle any of the financial decision making when they were younger, and now they're in a situation where if their spouse has passed away or if they've gone through a divorce, they're having to jump into that role. And that's a tough thing to do, and you're not really sure who to call.
Right. And for us to be able to give someone a genuine and authentic answer to where did you come from, how did you get there, and how are we going to move forward and move you into a solid financial future. And once you get there, you can't just make a plan and leave it. Your life changes. So then you have to analyze it every year and look back on it and maybe restructure a few things, but make that plan and stick to your core values.
Well, as a financial planner and a financial services company, what makes you different from a broker?
Well, I mean, we're an independent group. We are not limited to just one company's options. We're able to look at the client, decide what company fits them best, what investment options fit them best. There's so many things out there. We have to narrow it down a little bit so that you can make a decision.
So it's like you really have to gather and pull that information out of someone like me, which is not easy to do.
That's right.
And then you have to work with me to try to figure out how I can keep from being a bag lady when I'm ready to retire, or how I can avoid moving in with my children.
Yes.
I'm sure they would like to know that too.
They really want that answer.
They want that. They want to know that too.
And it doesn't happen overnight. You can't come and sit down and expect answers in the same meeting where you first meet someone. It takes time to get to know someone and get to know what's important to them and to figure out what their plan structures can be, and then to say, okay, here's 4 different ways we can go about this. Which way do you want to proceed? And then we can go in that direction. And then I can keep you moving in that direction so that when you come to me and you say, I know I got a new car 2 years ago, but I really, really like this new model, I can say, Cynthia, let's look at what this does to you when you want to retire. And when you look at that number out there, you say, nah, mine's just fine. I'll keep it.
Never mind.
So, to be able to feel like a woman, I know how I act. I know how I want to spend and the things that I want, and I can relate to how you want that. But I also know I'm seeing my clients start to retire now, and I'm seeing the impact that the economy has had, the ones that aren't able to retire, and I'm seeing the ones that are doing really well that stuck to their plan.
Yes, darn them. I've always had great plans, but for some reason, even if I stick with them, whoever I was with at the time didn't. They didn't stick with me. I guess that was what it was.
That's why you have to take control.
You're
of
right.
your future.
I have to take control of my future.
Yes, you do.
And I think that all women do. I mean, and it's so silly because contrary to popular belief, I'm actually a smart person, and I have made some good investments in the past, and I've also made some bad investments in the past, and I've made good decisions and bad decisions, but whenever something like the economy happens, where it wasn't your decision at all, and something, a third of your retirement is just out the window, or half of your retirement. It becomes very stifling, and you don't know what to do.
Well,
you really
and that's when it is so important to have someone that you can turn to, that you are their vested interest, not what's in this managed account over here. Because if you take an account that's under management and they move you to cash, all of a sudden there's no commission coming into the broker's side. Whereas if you're my vested interest, then I want you to be happy, because then you'll stay long term, and you'll continue to make your decisions with me. Back in 2006, we had an amazing phone call with some banking leaders, and we were able to move our clients into a cash position, and it's been invaluable. It has been, during that time, was there any new business? No, but they're safe, and now that it's starting to come back, everybody's ready to go again because we didn't lose their position.
Wow. So there's actually someone out there that still has cash. Wow. Well, that's great. That is really great. That's so good to hear. There are some very smart people out there when it comes to investing, and I'm not saying that all brokers are bad by any means, but
absolutely not.
But they do tend to take a little bit more control of the situation, and good or bad or whatever, we kind of end up in that situation where you kind of do lose a little bit of control over what you would like to see your money do. And it's kind of refreshing to know that you take a little bit of a different approach, and that you're looking at the relationship with the individual instead of the relationship with the money.
Exactly.
Appreciate that, because there's not a whole lot of money there now. Now, are you a one-person office? Do you have a team that you work with? How are you set up?
Well, like I said, my husband and I work together, and even though we've spun this new company, we still house under the same roof, and we do that because everybody in the office brings something really unique to the team, and there are things that I don't do that I can call on them to come in for, and vice versa.
Wonderful.
So that I don't think that we'll change that anytime soon, but we're currently expanding our practice, and we're seeking new agents, but we're being very, very selective. We only want people with the same moral values, the same dedication to the clients, and so if I'm the only one at the helm for a while, that's okay.
Right. So how do people reach you?
Well, like I said, it's new, so we just started our website. We had an amazing website designer that got us up and running. It's www.dragonflyfinancial.net. Our contact information should be on there by tomorrow, but in the meantime, we've got email, martina@dragonflyfinancial.net. You can call my cell phone directly. It's 850-393-5454.
Okay, and you can always email me at my Yadda Girls Yahoo account, and I'll make sure that Martina gets the message. But I think that people will really enjoy having a conversation with you, just to get a fresh approach and see what their options are out there, because right now we all really need to look at what the options are.
That's right.
And reevaluate how we've done things in the past are really not how we should do them in the future, and we need to make some changes. So it's good to know that there are companies like you and people that have a fresh approach to looking at these matters. And I encourage people to call you and meet with you.
Well, and people are welcome to email me a question, or they can email you. You can forward it to me, and maybe we can address that at a future time.
Great. And Martina is going to be with us for a number of weeks, and she's going to come on regularly and talk to us about certain issues. Today we just kind of wanted you to get to know her, to meet her, and it's not easy to develop rapport on television, but you got to start somewhere, and it's always good to have a name with a face, and to be able to try to understand what someone is really looking at, what their foundation and what their beliefs are, and how to do business. And I'm very comfortable with you, and I really think that our viewers would be too. So listen, we're going to take a break, and thank you so much for joining me today, and we're going to have you on again next week. And so we're going to take a break here from our fabulous sponsors, so stay with us, and we'll be right back, and we're going to be talking about a pumpkin patch, a glass pumpkin patch, so stay with us.
PACE Center for Girls focuses on quality programs which produce life-changing opportunities through education, counseling, training, and advocacy. PACE values all girls and young women, believing each one deserves an opportunity to find her voice, achieve her potential, and celebrate a life defined by responsibility, dignity, serenity, and grace. For over 20 years, PACE has provided the tools and skills necessary for success in every girl's life. PACE, believing in girls makes all things possible.
Welcome back to Yadda Yadda, and I gotta tell you, are you a toffee eater?
I am now.
He is a toffee eater now. He's nuts over toffee. And Sarah Scarborough, thank you so much for providing us with this wonderful toffee for our guests, because they take it home and eat it all. So here's your toffee for this evening, Tim.
Thank you.
Now, Tim, I have got to say thank you so much for coming on the show this evening.
You're welcome.
And Tim Nolan is representing the Belmont Arts and Cultural Center for the pumpkin patch, the glass pumpkin patch event that you're having this weekend.
Yes, it's October 10th.
October 10th.
From 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We'll have over 400 blown glass pumpkins.
Over 400. Now, show us, we have an example. We have some samples right here on the table. You can actually see them because they're beautiful. I want you to be able to really see these. We may have to lift them up because they are so gorgeous. And you actually made these yourself.
These are my pumpkins. Like I said, we have 10 artists that work out of the Glass Center, and we make them as a group.
Aren't they beautiful?
And we'll have about 200 that we've made as a group. And then each of the artists make some on their own, and we call them signature pumpkins. And these happen to be part of my signature pumpkin collection.
These are gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, what kind of prices are on these things?
Well, that's going to be the most expensive one that I have. That has cane in it. Those individual rods of glass that I gathered up on the bubble.
That's why it's so colorful and looks like toothpaste.
Yeah. So that'll be my most expensive one, and that's $75.
Gorgeous.
Some of the other artists may make one that's as much as $100.
Wow.
We'll have a lot in this price range, probably at $30.
$30, okay. And so you're going to have, what did you say, 400 of these?
Yeah, there'll be over 400.
From 10 to 2.
We started making them in May.
In May, wow.
And we've been making them every weekend since. So it's very difficult to make blown glass in the summertime in Pensacola.
Oh, it's so hot. I know.
Very hot.
I can't imagine.
So we're hoping this weekend the weather will be nicer. We'll do the pumpkin patch inside where the glass studio is. So visitors will be able to watch our glass blowing demonstrations and then also choose from the
So there will actually
pumpkins.
be glass blowing demonstrations, and people can purchase the pumpkins.
Right.
And how long have you been blowing glass?
I started about 3.5 years ago. Just on a whim. I took my sister to a class and decided that I'd try to take the class with her. And then I got hooked. And then once you're hooked, you're
doomed.
Yeah.
Well, this is, I mean, does your wife forgive you? I know this is quite time consuming, and I know that, you know, I mean, you don't do hunting or fishing.
No.
Okay.
If you're going to do glass blowing, you can't have any other kind of hobby. So I do it every Thursday night. I have a partner and we do it every Thursday night. And then we make the production pieces on Saturday mornings. So that's, 2 days a week.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's good. Now, I mean, you make such beautiful pieces, and from what I understand, it really takes someone like 10 years to be able to develop a technique and to make beautiful glasswork. But you, I think, have excelled.
Well, thank you. I don't know how true that is. The professional glass blowers do take a long time. Maybe not 10 years, but 5 years of full-time work. All the artists that work out of the Belmont Center are part-time artists. So our timing is going to be a lot longer.
Right.
But we get to learn from each other.
Right.
So there's an advantage to that. You're seeing how the other artists are working.
And you know, there are not very many glass blowing facilities in anywhere near here. I mean, where's the next closest one?
Well, they just opened one in Orange Beach.
Oh.
But until then, there wasn't.
But really?
Yeah, there wasn't a glass blowing facility. Either you had to go to New Orleans or to Tallahassee.
Yeah, well, they're copying because it is. It's fabulous and it's wonderful and it's great that people can go and learn how to blow glass and do something creative and just have a wonderful organization around it.
And there's other arts. If you're not up for glass blowing, you can learn torch work. We have a great teacher.
No, my
that
husband
teaches,
won't allow me to do that.
And no torches. And we also have a pottery.
Pottery.
We do pottery.
Very
there,
cool.
too. So
Okay, well, we're wrapping up. So this Saturday from 10 to 2, the Belmont Arts and Cultural Center. Come for the glass pumpkin patch. No smashing allowed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.